this is Wide Awake. I'm here for another video. The name of this video is called Evil Demonic Rap Artists. And if you notice, all your rap artists are evil demonic. There's not a single so-called artist out today that's promoting any type of positive message. Okay? And for those of you like, oh, there's underground artists, first of all, if you're about anything positive, you would not even be in the so-called entertainment industry, period. Okay? Because if you really was about change and doing something positive, there's nothing you can do in the entertainment industry but entertain people. So, I mean, if you're trying to actually promote change, and if you actually want something that positive to happen, then the type of things that you will be doing will be opening up schools, hospitals, starting import-export companies, starting farms, and giving out clothes to people who need it, and feeding the poor and all this, things like that. You would not be doing anything for any type of entertainment purposes. Okay, so I don't care. There's no such thing as there's positive entertainers. There are no such thing as a positive entertainer, because we do not need to be entertained right now. We had enough of that. We've been entertained since slavery. Okay, enough of the entertainment. We need to be diligent. We need to be doing hard work. We need to be building our society, and stop looking for a handout. Stop giving our money and our business and our energy to this evil corporations. Okay, so again, the name of this video is called Evil Demonic Rap Artists. All right, now before I begin, I just have to go over numerology, because this is very important. Now in numerology, you have 9 numbers. Okay, every single thing in life can have a number assigned to it. All your letters have numbers. All of your sounds have numbers. All of your shapes have numbers. All of your colors have numbers, etc., etc. For example, a triangle is 3 angles, so that would be 2, right? And a square has 4 sides, right? So it'll be 4, or So all your numbers, letters, shapes, everything, smells, sounds, everything can have that number assigned to it. Okay, and then once you understand this language, once you understand numerology, you'll be able to decipher and see the hidden code that's been hidden in plain sight right in front of you, So again, I'm gonna just go over this. So you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you have 0. 0 is not a number. Okay, 0 is all numbers and it's not a number. If some people say, oh, that's a lie, 0 is a number. Well, if your teacher or anybody says that 0 is a number, they have lied to you and they're ignorant. And maybe they lied to you on purpose. Because let's just say 0 was a number, right? If 0 was a number, that means that 0 would be the first place that we start counting, right? Not 1. Which means, right, that the 0 would be odd, right? Because the first number is 1 and 1 is odd. And then the next set of odd numbers will be 3, 5, 7, and 9, right? In that order. And then your even numbers will be 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay? So let me just write this down real quick. Even numbers. Then you got your odd numbers. And then you have your neutral number, which is only one number, which is 0. Okay? Your odd numbers equal 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Your even numbers equal 2, 4, 6, and 8. Alright? Now, if you look at this, you'll notice, again, 0 is not a number. If 0 was a number, that means that you start counting from 0, and that will mean that 0 will be odd, right? And 1 will be even, 2 will be odd, 3 will be even. But that's not the case. 1 is odd, and 3 is odd, and 2 is even. So if that's the case, then we know that 0 is a neutral number. And if you don't know it, So I don't like saying believe, because the word believe means to believe in a lie. If you don't know it, I'm gonna just show you this for example. You'll have what? A 0 here, right? Then you'll have, let's just say, like -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and so on, right? Then you'll have +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, right? But notice, right here in the middle, bam, is your 0. And the 0 separates the negative numbers from the positive numbers, right? So if 0 is a separation, then that means that 0 is not a number. Okay? Positive numbers, negative numbers, right? And then right in the middle is your 0. And just to show you this, and you'll understand what does this have to do with demonic rappers. I'll explain it. You'll understand, because you know everything I say always starts off sounding crazy and then it makes sense at the end. And that's how I like it. Alright? So you gotta stay tuned. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right? So this will be considered your number wheel, right? And if you notice, this is also the number sign. Right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now where's your 10? Your 10 will be 1 and then the circle. The circle itself is the 10. You have 20. 20 will be 2 and then the circle. That's 20. 30 will be 3 and then the circle. If you want to do 356, there's 3, 5, and 6. Within the circle is an infinite amount of numbers. All numbers, every single number within existence, all fits within the circle, which is why the circle is what we call the birth, right? The yoni, right? It's called the Vescapisces, right? Whatever term you want to say, right? The dot, the period, right? We all know the period comes at the end of a sentence, and the period is always in the shape of a circle. And women at the end of the monthly cycle, they go on their period. So everything comes out of the circle, right? It's just like the sun. The sun is in the shape of a circle, and it births out all souls, and all light comes from the sun. Same thing with the circle. All numbers, everything in existence comes out of the circle, okay? Once you understand this concept, now I can move on to what I was talking about. But just to briefly go over, in numerology, you have numbers 1 through 9. There is no 10, because 10 would be the 1 and then a 0, right? So in numerology again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's just say, for example, if I have the number 13, the number 13 in numerology will equal to number 4, because 13 equals 1 plus 3 equals 4. Remember, there is no such number over 9, right? So let's just say I have the number 11. 11 will equal a 2, right? Just say I have 6 plus 7, which is 13 again, will equal a 13, but in numerology, it'll equal a 4, right? It'll equal 4. I could pick any random number, 26. 26 in numerology would actually be an 8, because the 2 plus the 6 is an 8, right? So once you understand this concept, everything can be broken down. The most complex math problems, the most complex of problems can be broken down into integer, or the most common denominator, or the most common simplest number, which is a single number. Because if you look at the number 13 and 11, these are two different numbers. You got 1 and a 3, you got 1 and a 1, you got a 6 and a 7. So when you add these numbers together, they give you a single number. So in numerology, Everything equals one number. That's it. It's one number. Okay? There is no such thing as two numbers in numerology. Everything can equal to one number. I can pick any number, no matter how big it is. I can pick the number 1,598,652 in numerology will equal 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 plus 9 is 15, and 1 plus 5 is a 6, and a 6 plus an 8 would be, let me just show you so it'll be easier. This is the 6, right? Let me just add the easy numbers. That'll be 7. This will be a 14, and this will be the 9, drop it down, right? So we break it down. So the 9 plus a 6 will be 15, which is really 6. 6 plus a 7 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 7, right? Let me just write it down. 6 plus 9 is what? 15. And 15 plus 14 is 15 plus 14 is really 5, right? So 15 plus 5 is 20, and 20 plus 7 is 27. So everything gets broken down to 27, which equals 9, because 7 plus 2 is 9. So this whole big number, 1,598,652, is broken down into a number 9. So that's how numerology works, all right? So now that you understand that, now I can go ahead and move on with my lesson, all right? I had to get that out of the way, just so you can understand. Okay. Let me just leave one example up here, just so when you're watching it, if you still don't understand it, you can just pause it, and I'll just have it in an example, right, in the corner. Example, 9 plus 5 equals 14, which equals 5. Okay? And we'll just write numerology. And I'll leave it up here for as long as I can, so that way you can have a visual aid, so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so now how does numerology, what does numbers have to do with evil, satanic, demonic rappers, right? I'll explain it to you in a minute. Right? So, let's start off with the most common. I don't listen to no rap music, by the way, because I stopped listening to rap music over 10 years ago, because there's no positive message. There's nothing positive to be said about rap music. There's no positive messages. There's nothing for a child to listen to, nothing for an adult to listen to. There's nothing that can be said in rap music that you can say that will justify you listening to the type of garbage, the self-degradation, the curse words, the promiscuity, and the evil, the telling you to kill your fellow brother and sleep with every woman, and to sell drugs in your community, and to treat your neighborhood like trash, and to treat your fellow man like crap, and to hate each other. There's nothing positive about rap music, okay? And for those of you saying, oh, it's just music, it doesn't mean anything. Yes, it does mean something. Because anytime you put something in your ear and you listen to it over and over and over and over again, you begin to program your mind. Just like riding a bicycle. When you learning how to ride a bike, when you do the same repetitive motions over and over and over, you begin to memorize it. You begin to acquire what's called muscle memory. And this is how people are able to breathe, able to write, and able to do things without thinking about it. Think about it. When someone says write something down, do you have to literally say to your brain, make this line this way and make this circle and do this? No, you just write numbers. If someone says, hey, could you go to the store, or you walking somewhere, do you have to tell does your brain have to tell your legs, hey, leg, move in front of the other leg? Leg, pick up leg, move the leg in front. No, you just do it automatically because it's a part of your muscle memory. It's a part of your subconscious. Now, the word sub means below, just like you have the subway, right? When you're on the subway, you're below ground. So submental, or your subconscious, is below your conscious. And anything that's subconscious is always running on autopilot. Okay? So let me just write this down. Subconscious equals autopilot. Subconscious equals what? Autopilot. Meaning you don't have to think about it. It just happens automatically because it's below your mind. Anything that's above your mind is something that you have to consciously think about, right? So subconscious equals below awareness. Okay? Anything that you're not aware of is called a subliminal message. Let me write that down. Anything that you're not aware is called a what? Subliminal message. Subliminal message. Now, why do they call, when people get hypnotized, right? When they hypnotize people and they make people suggestible, they give people drugs called the truth serum, right? When they inject people with truth serum, when the CIA interrogates people and they hypnotize them, or people get hypnotized, the reason why people are able to get hypnotized is because people are able to have their subconscious take over their overconscious, right? Meaning your subconscious is now in charge. The only time people become subconscious, like say for example, if you ever seen somebody get into a fight and then somebody gets hit really hard and then they fall asleep in the middle of a fight or something like that, they're subconscious, they're unconscious, right? Because they're still breathing, right? Their body is still breathing, right? But their mind is shut off. And the only thing that's working is the submental mind, right? Because the submental mind, like I just said before, it runs on autopilot. You don't have to tell your submental mind what to do. It automatically does what it does on its own. And your submental mind controls what? Your submental mind controls breathing, reflexes, right? Feelings, etc. Right? It controls a lot of other stuff, but for right now, it's all we need to know about, right? So your submental mind, or your subconscious, which is your conscious, is your mental, which is really your mentality, right? Your subconscious mind is always running on autopilot all the time. And if you're able to tap into the subconscious, and if you're able to supplant a message, right, a subliminal message, then that means that you're able to have your body run a program without you being aware. Which is why when people go to the movies and all of a sudden they feel hungry, or they feel like they want to get a snack, even if they ate, or if they're not hungry, they automatically feel like they want some type of snack. Because while they're watching the movie, within the movie are quick flashes of food and images that are telling you to feel hungry. So when you're watching a movie, they're subconsciously putting a subliminal message in the movie itself, telling you to feel hungry and to go out and purchase a snack so you can make the company rich. And they started doing that, I think, in the early 18 or 1900s, and they never stopped. Which is why every single time you go to the movies, whenever you leave, you always feel hungry. And I can admit that. No matter how much I ate before I went to the movie, whenever I leave the movies, I'm always hungry afterwards. Why? Because subliminally, they have spliced within the film itself, they have messages telling my submental mind to feel the feeling of hunger. Right? So if we know this, then we can be able to shield our minds. That's the thing. If you are not aware of what's going on, then you cannot shield your mind, which means you cannot block the subliminal message that's being sent to you. If you are aware, you can block the subliminal message, and you can shield your mind from carrying out the auto program, which is the autopilot. Okay? So let me just write autopilot equals auto program. Right? Now, why is this important? The reason why this is important is because whenever you listen to rap music, there's hidden messages within the songs that are telling you to act a certain way, to dress a certain way, to talk a certain way, to feel a certain feeling, and to act a certain way, if I didn't just say that, right? So if we know this, then now we are alert, and we are aware, and we can shield our minds from receiving such messages. Now, if you ever download an app on your phone, and everybody has a phone, and if you don't have a phone, you can download it on your tablet or on your computer, or you can ask somebody else to do it for you. And there's a bunch of apps, but you can download an app that plays music backwards. It doesn't have to be music. You can play any type of audio. There's an app that plays audio messages backwards. And if you, let's just say you take your favorite song, I don't care what song it is. If you take your song, and any song, Justin Bieber or whatever rapper you want to listen to, and if you play the song backwards, you'll notice that there's another message, another song hidden within the song. There's another code, there's another message in the reverse audio of the forward audio. So, and this is what's called back masking, right? Back masking, because they're masking it when you play it forward, but when you play it backwards, it's being unmasked. So back masking equals subliminal hidden message in what? In movies, in songs, and media in general. Right? Again, what does numerology have to do with evil demonic rappers, and what does subliminal messages have to do with evil demonic rappers? You're going to see in a minute how all of this ties in to this, and why I titled my video Evil Demonic Rap Artists. And the majority of the youth today, the majority of the people between the ages of, I want to say 10 and maybe 60 years old, still listen to rap music, right? Now we have a rap artist called, write down this guy's name. We have a rap artist called Tekashi. Now I don't know any of his songs, but I just heard of him so much. Tekashi 69, right? So you have a rap artist called Tekashi 69. Now I just showed you a numerology. Now if you was to add these numbers together, right? 6 plus 9 equals what? 6 plus 9 equals 15. Now, you know in numerology, there cannot be two numbers. It has to be one number. So you already know 1 plus 5 in numerology equals 6, right? So, let's just write this down. Okay, so Tekashi 69 is really Tekashi. I'm gonna just show you something real quick. So you got Tekashi 69, right? And then you got the 1 plus 5 is the 6. So if we add this together, it's really Tekashi 696. Now if you was to take this 9 and you was to flip it upside down, this 9 will become a 6. So then you will have what's called, will be this. Let me write it in red just to show you emphasis. Bring this down, so it's 6. Bring this down, that's 9. And then you bring this here, that's a 6, right? So you got Tekashi 696. And if you turn the 9 upside down, it's another 6. So, bam. I'm gonna bring this down again. I'm gonna bring that down again. Oh, now you see what I'm talking about. So now you got a rapper named Tekashi 69, which is really Tekashi 666, because the 6 plus a 9 is 15, and 1 plus 5 is a 6, and you know in numerology it's going to be one number. So Tekashi 696, the 9 is upside down. If you flip it up, it turns into a 6. So you got really Tekashi 666, which is an evil, right? Last time I checked, that number was an evil number, because they're using the energy of the 6 to do evil, satanic nonsense. Right? Then you got another rapper named XXX Tentacion, right? So XXX Tentacion, whatever freaking name is, right? Now we all know that XXX, let me just write it down. XXX is also can mean what? You know, you got X and O, which means hugs and kisses, right? Which has to do with being intimate with somebody. And then you have XXX. Now we all know that XXX, 3 X's together represents pornography, right? Or sex, porno. Right? Now we all know that XXX is another way of saying sex, right? If you look at this, right, if I just put an S in front of it, right, sex, right, and XXX. Now we know that to X somebody, right, to X somebody means to hex somebody, right, equals hex. And to hex somebody equals to what? To charm them, or to put a spell over somebody, right? Spell and magic ritual. Now we know the word sex. Okay, let me just show you a hexagram. Hexagram is what? Has 6 sides, right? This is a hexagram, by the way. Right? Hexagram. Now we all know that sex also is 6, 6, and 6. Again, okay, so you got another thing, another 666, tentacion, right? So if you look at this, you got XXX tentacion, which means sex, or 666, right? And then you have another rapper named Tekashi 69, and now you got another rapper named Little what's his name? Lil Pump. So Little Pump. Now, if you notice, all of these names sound like sexual names, or some type of, like you're watching porn or something. Remember there's a porn star named Brian Pumper. Brian Pumper. Right? Now, Little Pump, XXX Tentacion, Tekashi 69. Come on, man. You guys don't see it? All of these names sound straight up very sexual to me. Okay? Now, if you look at it, 69 is a what? Is a sex position, right? Is it not? Is 69 not a sex position, right? So 69 is a sex position, right? And then you got XXX. And then you got Little Pump. Now come on, man. Like, you don't tell me this is a coincidence. Don't tell me this is a coincidence, right? So Takashi, so Little Pump is having sex with Tentacion and Takashi, and they doing it 69 style. I'm just saying that doesn't even sound right. You got a rapper named Little Pump, when he's pumping having sex with Tentacion and Takashi, and they doing it 69. I don't know. I mean, it just sounds really homosexual to me, and all of these names sound really straight up sexual. And if you notice, when you hex somebody, it means to put a charm on them using sex magic. Okay? Hex also means what? Sex also means 6. Okay? So hex, sex, 6. Notice they all sound similar phonetically because they all do mean the same thing. That's why when witches, when they put a spell on you, it's called putting a hex, right? Wasn't there a comic book artist, a comic guy named Jonah Hex, right? Now, when you hex somebody, it means you're charming them. And to hex somebody means to put a spell, right? And all of these rappers are using your lower chakras. All of these rappers are using. Okay, let me just see if I can write this. 7 chakras, right? You have 7 chakras, right? You got 3 above. You got 3 below. And that's funny. There's I think a brand called 3 Below or something like that. And then you have your balancing chakra, which is your heart chakra, which is right in the middle. I'm gonna write that in green, right? So you got the heart chakra right there in the middle. And then you have on the bottom, you have your root chakra, right? Which is always in red because your root, right? And then right above, you have your crown chakra, which is in purple, but I'm going to write it in blue. Okay, okay. Crown. Okay. Okay. So, now notice the first 2 chakras is your root chakra, which is the first chakra, and then right above that, your second chakra is your sacral chakra. Now, if you look at the word sacral, right, you got your root, you got your sacral, right, and then you got your solar plex, and then you have your throat, then you got your third eye, and you got your crown, right? So if you notice, your sacral chakra, which is, remember, these rappers are extracting energy from you, and the energy that they're extracting is energy from your root chakra and your sacral chakra. And they're not allowing you to go above these 3 chakras. If anything, they're not allowing you to go past the first 2. This entire control matrix, this entire control grid is keeping you in your first 2 chakras. They're not allowing you, they're keeping you in hell, right? Because the first, to be below your heart means to be in hell, to be above your heart means to be in heaven, right? So they're keeping you in hell because they're keeping you in your lower consciousness, right? Let me just write this over, just so it's easier to understand. Below, you have 3 above, okay? And then right in the middle, you have your heart chakra, which is the separation from the underworld, from the spiritual world, right? As above, so below. As above, so below, right? So you have your 3 above, and then you have your 3 below. Now you got your root, and you have your sacral, right? And then you have your throat. You have your third eye, and then you have your crown, right? Let me just write this. Solar plex. I'm gonna do the solar plex in yellow. Just so you can got your solar plex, right? Okay, so you got your solar plex, right? So you notice your root chakra represents fight or flight. Your root chakra represents what? Fight, flight, fight, survival, and eating. Because obviously you need to eat to survive, right? Your sacral chakra represents pleasure, sex, and reproduction. That's it. Right? And then your solar plex represents power. Your solar plex represents power. Right? Your throat chakra represents communication and expression, like your personality and how you express yourself and being confident and everything like that. Your crown chakra represents being fully awake and having mastery over all emotions, being fully aware and master of all emotions and elements, master of emotions, elements, right? And be fully psychic. And your third eye means to be partially psychic, but to be able to receive receive future thoughts. And then your crown, the third eye represents being psychic, clairvoyant, etc., etc., etc. I'll just write psychic because that includes all of that, right? So you have to know this stuff in order to understand how these evil rappers are evil and demonic. You have to know what all of this. You got to know numerology. You got to understand a little bit about magic rituals, and you got to understand your chakras. Because if you don't understand none of these concepts, you're not going to be able to see how these rappers are manipulating you and extracting your energy from your being. Okay? So your root chakra represents fight, flight, or survival mode and eating. Your sacral chakra represents pleasure, sex, and reproduction. Your solar plex represents power. Your throat chakra represents expression, communication. Your third eye represents being psychic. And your crown chakra represents being fully aware and control of all your emotions and being fully psychic and being able to receive and manipulate matter and receive future thought, to be able to receive future premonitions where you'll be able to see into the future. That's part of your third and crown chakra, right? So now, most of these rappers are stealing your energy from your root and your sacral chakra, mainly your sacral chakra, because your sacral chakra represents pleasure and sex and reproduction. And if you notice, when you put a hex on somebody, you're trauming them with sex magic, which means you're stealing your energy from the sacral chakra. And if you notice, your energy comes up through your feet, right? This is why when you're lifting weights, they say you always gotta, for men, your testosterone comes from your feet. It's not that your testosterone comes from your feet, it's just that the energy from the earth travels up through your feet and it settles and it kind of pulls in your root chakra. Your root chakra for a man will be where your penis is at, and for a woman it will be where your vagina is at. Okay, so the energy travels up from Mother Earth or from the earth, and it travels up your legs, and it kind of settles within your root chakra. Your root chakra is where your reservoir is. So you got two reservoirs. You got a reservoir in your root chakra, which is where your genitals are, and then you have a reservoir on the top of your head, which is where your crown chakra is. And you notice if you're a mother, when your child is born, they have a soft spot or a hole in the middle of their head. That hole is literally where energy shoots in and out of, which is the top of your crown chakra. And then you notice you have a little opening or a little hole right in between your butthole and where your genitals are, right? In that little space, that's where the root chakra, where all the energy stores there. So you got two storehouses. You have a storehouse for lower energy, and you have a storehouse for higher energy. Now, this lower energy can also be known as lower consciousness, and your higher energy could be known as higher consciousness, right? So let me write that down. So your 3 below is what is considered lower consciousness, which is where these rappers want to keep you. And then your 3 above can be known as higher consciousness, which is where they don't want you to go, which is heaven, higher consciousness, which is where I'm at. And when you're at such a high level, you're able to see everything below you. Now, how could you see something below you if you're already at the bottom? If you're at the bottom, if you're inside of a hole or a pit, and you're already at the bottom of the pit, you can't see anything below you because you're already at the bottom. The only thing you can do is look up. And if you're already at the top, then you can see everything below. So, if you're one of those people who are always want to fight somebody, always in survival mode, right? All you do, yeah, I'm a survivor, man. You know, I gotta get by, I gotta do what I gotta do to feed my family, you know what I mean? I gotta be out here on these streets selling these drugs to my people, you know what I mean? So all of these people that you see talking like that, they're all in their lower consciousness. They're all in their root chakra because they not above in any of these other levels because their energy is here at the root chakra level. Now you got people, men and women, who are always about sex. All they want to do is have sex all day. They're always talking about sex. That's all that's on their mind constantly. They're always having sex. And you can tell because a lot of the women who are sacral based, they're usually more developed, especially and more thick. I'm not saying that's always the case, but a lot of times that's usually what it is because they're feeding that sacral energy. Now remember, whatever chakra you feed the most is what's going to grow the most. It's just like a baby. If you feed a baby a lot of food, it's going to get big. If you barely feed a baby, it's going to stay small and skinny, right? So it's the same thing with anything in life. Whatever you feed the most is going to grow the most. Just like a plant, you can have 2 plants. You can have one plant near the sun that you always give a lot of water and sunlight to, and you can have another plant in a corner, in a dark corner nowhere where you barely water it. Which plant thinks going to grow bigger? The plant that's near the sun, that's always being fed, right? And the plant that's in the corner, it's in the dark, is not going to grow as fast or it's not going to grow as big because you're not really feeding, not giving it a lot of energy or attention. So it's the same thing with your 7 chakras. So whatever chakra you're feeding the most is the chakra that's going to take over your body, and that's going to be the predominant energy that's going to run your subconscious, okay? Understand that. So if you're only feeding these 2 chakras, which is your fight, flight, and survival and eating, and then your sacral chakra, then those will be the only 2 chakras that's going to grow, and the rest of these chakras are going to shrink, just like your muscles. If you don't, it's the same. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, right? Just like people who wear glasses, their eyes get weaker and weaker and weaker because they're not feeding their eyes. They're letting the glasses do all the work, and they're causing their eye muscles to atrophy. Just like people who sit in a wheelchair, right? Their legs shrink and they get all shriveled up and tiny, and the upper body's all big. You ever watch Family Guy? You ever watch Joe in a wheelchair and his upper body's real strong because he's always lifting weights, but then his legs are all scrawny and weak because he doesn't feed the energy to his legs. He's just only feeding his upper body, right? It's the same thing in life. It's a universal law. Whatever you feed the most is what's gonna grow. So if you're only feeding your root chakra and your sacral chakra, which is eat, sleep, poop, and shit, which is what most of you are only doing, right? So-called useless eater, right? All you do is have sex, you go to work every day, you survive, right? You survive by working 9 to 5, right? This is what you do. You survive every day by working the 9 to 5, and then you eat, and then you have sex, make more children, and then you poop, and then you do the same thing, rinse and repeat, right? Same thing every day in this cycle, right? Right? That's the cycle that you guys are living in. You're living in the cycle of what? The cycle is what? Root, sacral. That's all you're doing every day. Root, sacral. You're caught in the 8, caught in the loop, caught in the infinity loop, to the looking glass, right? You eat, you poop, you have sex, you go to work, you survive, do the same thing, boom, 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 back and forth, all day, then you die, and then you just come back, you get reincarnated, and you just get stuck in the matrix, you get stuck in the loop, in the trap, you get stuck in the infinity loop, okay? Which is the reincarnation, okay? Let's see, write this down. Infinity loop, okay? I'm explaining all of this before I move on, because if you don't understand this concept, then you're not going to know that these satanic, demonic rappers are actually stealing and draining your energy. Now, sacral also sounds like carnal, right? Sacral, carnal, right? Now, somebody who's carnal in nature, right? Like Mortal Kombat, Carnage, right? Carnage means gory, guts, pleasure, right? Sacral equals what? Carnal. To be carnal, to be flesh, carnal, right? Which means sex and gore, right? So people who are very carnal in nature are people who are only about sex and blood, right? They're into the body, right? To the physical flesh, right? These are people who are considered very carnal. Notice the word sacral sounds like carnal, sacral. It's very similar. Hex, sex, six, sacral, carnal. Notice how all the words sound similar because they all tie into each other, okay? So if you understand this, now I can move on to your solar plex. The people who are in tune with their soul, right? These are people who always go with their gut feeling, right? Go with your feeling, go with your gut, right? These are people who are always going with their soul, right? Solar plex, solar plex, right? So the people who are always in their soul, or you always in your feelings, they always in their soul. And it's not good to be always in your feelings, because if you're always in your feelings, you're emotional, that means you cannot think straight because your emotions are always clouding your judgment. And there's nothing wrong with having emotions, but you need to be able to filter out your emotions, especially the woman. Because if you're always emotional all the time, that means you can't always make the best decisions, because you know why? Emotions are constantly in motion. That's why it's called emotion, okay? And motion means to move, right? So if you're always emotional, that means you're always moving, and that means you never can't make the right decision. You can't make a good decision because you need to settle down and reflect and settle on one emotion. You can't experience two emotions. Actually, you could experience more than one emotion at the same time, but it's confusing. So your body's only able to process one emotion at a time. Even though you can feel a bunch of them at once, you're only able to act out, one emotion at a time. So, you got women who are always emotional all the time. What do you call them? You call them crazy, right? The woman who one minute they're happy, next minute they're crying, then they want to have sex, then they want to fight you, right? These women are considered crazy because they don't know how to filter out their emotions and settle on one emotion at a time. They want to experience every emotion at once, right? Now, emotion also means energy. So energy in motion, right? Energy in motion, which is what? Your solar plex, right? So now I'm gonna move up to your heart chakra. Your heart chakra are those people who love and they care about everything. They care about the animals and peace. And those are the people that you could ask them for $100. They won't even ask you what you need it for. They'll just give it to you from the bottom of their heart. Now it's funny people say bottom of their heart because the bottom half is they're still in their feelings, and you got the top of the half, top of their heart, right? So people who are heavily in their heart chakra, these people are generally loving, caring people. Sometimes too loving and caring, where they're naive and they get taken advantage of. So you don't want to remain in your heart chakra because, again, being too loving and caring is also a bad thing because, again, you can get taken advantage of by bad people who don't care about emotions and all they care about is they self because they carnal. All they care about is their own pleasure and having fun, right? So you don't want to be stuck in your heart chakra neither, but you definitely have to be at least in your heart chakra or above. You don't want to be in the lower three chakras because those are lower consciousness. You want to at least be neutral or above, okay? So the people who are constantly loving and caring, there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. You want to be somebody who has a heart, who has compassion, who loves people, but you don't want to be naive neither and taken advantage of. So that's why you have to be able to communicate what's on your heart and what's in your emotions. Because if you can't communicate what your heart feels and your emotions, then that means you're going to be easily taken advantage of. This is why the next level up is communication and expression. Because you need to be able to communicate and speak with confidence, speak with assertion. You never meet those sweet women who are like really shy and quiet and have a good heart. And what happens? They meet a guy, and the guy gets them pregnant, take advantage of them. They run trains on them, they do a whole bunch of nonsense because these people who are very heartful, they aren't able to express themselves and say, no, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me no more. No, I'm not going to do that, right? So you have to be able to communicate and express yourself. Then next you have your third eye. Your third eye are people who are starting to become psychic, people who are starting to see auras, people who are starting to become aware of the energies around them, people who are starting to receive transmission, future thoughts, people who are able to control things with their mind, telekinesis and all this type of kinesis and everything like that, telepathy, etc., etc. That's your third eye. And then right after that, you have your crown chakra. Now your crown chakra is the most powerful because your crown chakra, once that's activated, you'll be able to manipulate matter, like you see in that movie Avatar. In Avatar, where they're able to like bend water and earth and create fire and all that stuff. That's your crown chakra. Once your crown chakra is open, you're able to master all 7 elements or all 7 chakras, and you're able to manipulate matter around you and energy around you, and you're definitely fully psychic at that point, meaning you become a super being and no one can touch you. And this is what the people who run this world don't want. They don't want anybody ascending past the solar plex. Even then, that's too high for them. They want everybody to stay in their first 2 chakras, which is the root and the sacral, and maybe your solar plex, right? Because a lot of women, they're in the solar plex. So they don't want you going above that. Now, you do have some people like the monks, you got the yogis in India, the people like that who pretty much are in their crown chakra. But again, these people aren't heavily promoted in mainstream media. You don't really see these people. And if you notice, all the monks and the yogis, they usually live secluded away from the normal society because normal society is usually stuck in their first 2 chakras. And if you want to be here in your crown chakra, you have to disassociate yourself with all the lower consciousness because you cannot be a higher consciousness being and you're surrounded with lower consciousness. What's going to happen is the lower consciousness is going to overpower your higher consciousness. Why? Because the majority of the people on the planet are in lower consciousness. And it doesn't matter how strong you are, eventually you're going to be overcome by the lower consciousness, because the lower consciousness is in rule, right? And there's a rule that says the majority rules, right? So that's why people who are like monks and yogis and all these, shamans and all this stuff, they usually like to seclude themselves and live in like the mountains or some part of town that's far away from everybody else, where they can continue to master and receive higher consciousness, right? They don't live in the regular where everybody else lives, because everyone else is demonic and they have lower consciousness, and they're being having their energy siphoned off via sex charms and ritual magic. Okay, now that you understand the 7 chakras, now that you understand numerology, and now that you a little bit understand the how you're being hexed and have a magic ritual performed on you. Guys, so you just finished watching part 1. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot. I'm going to be uploading more regular content, and the part 2 will be uploading soon. So stay tuned for that, and I hope that the moral of this is that you stop listening to demonic rap music. There is nothing good to be had from listening to evil demonic messages coming from evil demonic people. Okay, so even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you can still look up all the information. I'm pretty open with the content that I give, and I'm not really giving out information that is so hard to digest and so hard to find. Another thing I wanted to add was, feel free to comment, even if you disagree with me. I love open debates. There's nothing more that sparks creative juices than a healthy debate. You don't have to curse and use derogatory language, but I'm always open to comments, ideas, and different topics. Please let me know what topic you want me to do next. My brain is huge. I have a lot of information on various topics, so please feel free to let me know what you want to hear next. All right, and on that note, I'm going to leave it. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2. And again, stop listening to the demonic rap music. All right, peace.